is probably not what you should say, but I would say the thing I enjoyed the most was the social aspect of our course. I did the summer internship in Thailand. I loved labs. I used to moan about them whilst I was there, and I used to, be hungover or whatever, and I used to be in the lab trying to mix things together. And I used to complain and say, this is so much work, but I would go back and do it again. Like, I absolutely loved it.
I love the fact that I'd have my lab partner and we'd just banter, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like...
Some of the, funniest things that have ever happened to me have happened in the central teaching labs at the University of Liverpool.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I have an amazing guest called Megan, and Megan is my classmate. We studied chemistry together at the University of Liverpool. So the structure of this video is basically me and Megan are going to be talking about our experiences studying chemistry. It's going to be an informal conversation / an informal interview. So I'm really excited to kickstart this video. And the first question I'm going to ask Megan is for her to tell us a bit about herself.
So hi everyone, nice to be on Yem's YouTube channel. I did chemistry with a semester in China and a semester in industry with Yem at the University of Liverpool. I'm 23 years old, so I'm going to tell you a bit about that later, why I'm a bit older. I absolutely loved it. Studied in China for a semester, and I've been with Yem for the past 4 years. And that's what we did.
Okay, so the first question I want to ask you now is, what did you study at A-levels and why?
So at A-level I did chemistry, biology, geography and Spanish. I did Spanish up to AS, and then A2 I did chemistry, biology, geography. I did them just because I did a mix, because when I went to college I didn't really know what I wanted to do at uni. And I kind of didn't really decide until later on. And I wanted to do a language. I've always liked language. My mum lived in Spain when she was my age, and I always wanted to just kind of try and keep the language as something I'd have. Geography I just found really interesting. And then I felt like the sciences were always something that I was good at, and it was good to keep my options open, really. So I kind of didn't go into it with a career path. I went into it with just do what you enjoy.
Fantastic, thank you. Well, for me, my A-levels were biology, chemistry, geography and maths. And I chose those subjects because I wanted to be hot on the market, you know me.
I didn't know you did geography.
Yeah, I did geography, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did. So I did biology, chemistry, geography and maths. I did them all for AS, and then I dropped maths for in A2 because I thought I put so much stress on myself for maths in AS, and I was like, I got an A in AS. I'm not about to like go through hell and back again to get less than an A in second year. And I just thought, nah, there's no point. I decided to keep geography instead of maths because I just thought it was nice to have like a variety. Like, I don't know, geography was just really interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. And everyone tries to make you do maths at A-level because it does tick the box for a lot of things, but it's hard.
Exactly.
It's really hard.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. And seeing that me and you both did geography, I thought it was very useful when we did our semester in China, when we did the social sciences stuff and humanities. I found A-level geography to be really useful in my degree when we did the semester in China. So
it's just interesting. I just liked it, and it's probably a bit weird, but I did. I was going to do it at uni, but changed my mind.
Do you know what's funny, Meg? I was also going to do it at uni.
I mean, I probably should have, really, looking back, but at the time I was like, no, I'll just do science instead.
Right, so what made you want to study chemistry?
So like I said, I wanted to do geography really initially, probably more physical geography than anything. I wanted to maybe try and, for a while I was looking at like natural sciences, like trying to mix physical geography and chem. So that's really like geology. And then I was like, no, I don't want to do rocks.
Yeah.
And I just enjoyed chem really out of them all. I was rubbish at biology at A-level, and I kind of found it long-winded. And I found physics too straightforward, biology too long-winded, and chemistry a bit of a mix of the two. Like, you know, there was theories, but there was right answers and wrong answers, and it just seemed like a good decision at the time. And I think I wasn't unsure, and then I looked around loads of different universities and saw like the labs and what you do, and I just kind of was like, yeah, that sounds like a bit of me, so I'm going to do that. And then I did, and it took me a long time to get there, but I did it.
What about for me? So basically I chose chemistry because I got rejected for medicine. But you know what? That's probably the best thing that happened, and I'm so glad I got rejected for medicine, and I'm so happy that I got accepted into chemistry. I remember in A-levels, my chemistry teacher was like, "Oh, you should do chemistry." I laughed at her. I said, "Are you mad?"
Yeah, I did the same.
But then it got to second year, and I thought I might be all right at it, actually.
I think as well, like you're 18 years old, you don't know what you want to do for a career. And people that can get onto medicine and are doctors, you know, it's amazing. But I personally didn't know back then. It's easy to say I wanted to do medicine, but it takes a long time and it's a lot to decide. So I think doing a standard subject does keep your options open, which, as we all know now, we're all doing different things.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy. So can you talk about your journey from A-levels to getting in at the University of Liverpool?
Yeah, so mine's a bit of a mess. So, which I think is good for people to hear because it's never straightforward. And basically I did my A-levels like normal, but I just didn't do very well in them, was probably not really as focused as I should have been, was working part-time, ended up getting ACC in my A-levels. So, you know, it's not terrible, but it's not great. And I was one UMS off a B in chemistry, which was the reason why I had issues, because you have to get a B to get into the uni. So I was in clearing, so on results day I woke up, everyone else had their uni offers and I was in clearing and I was like, oh no. So I ended up ringing around all the universities, and the University of Leicester were like, well, we'll take you in. First year BSc chemistry, so everything I wanted to do, just different place. And at the time I was just kind of like, well, you know, what have I got to lose, why not? So I went, and I just didn't like it. The city it wasn't even the city, it just, the uni wasn't for me. I think I wasn't in the right state of mind. Looking back, I should have taken a year out or resat an exam. But I kind of jumped the gun and panicked, thinking that I need to go to uni because everyone's going to uni. And I didn't get great flatmates, and like I got on with them well, but they weren't my kind of people, and just random different things. So I got about halfway through Leicester in first year, and I was kind of like, I need to figure out what to do next year because I can't stay here. And I rang the University of Liverpool up, which wasn't even one of my top 5 choices in the first place.
Okay.
So I never even considered Liverpool. I always wanted to move far away from home because I live like 20 minutes away. And they said to me, if you pass your year in Leicester, we'll let you come here and we'll just basically treat it as a foundation year. So I worked really hard and passed it and moved to Liverpool first year. So I was a year older than everyone, but you can, you know, some people are 2-3 years older. You can't tell.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was worth it. It was worth the hassle of doing that for a year to get there in the end, because now I've had such an experience. So
fab. That's great.
Yeah, so, you know, it's unconventional. I think people think you do your A-levels, you do really well, and then you get straight into uni, and it just doesn't happen for a lot of people. And with everything that's going on currently with grades and stuff, I think, like, it's important to maybe just people to know, like, you'll get there in the end, like, it'll be fine. Yeah. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
Yeah, that's interesting you say about taking the gap year after uni, after A-levels, sorry, because I remember at A-levels thinking that's a really absurd idea. Like, why would you take a year out? Like, just go straight to uni. But now that I've grown up, I'm like, yeah, actually taking a year out after A-levels, is such a smart idea, because a lot of people I felt pressured to choose a degree, and then they get to uni and they're like, I actually hate this.
Exactly. And I think just taking a year out, you grow up,
definitely.
You can, like, save money and stuff, or you can travel. You know, we both traveled, and I think it's such a big thing people should do. But just that year makes all the difference, and you probably would go into uni with much more clearer head instead of the panic of A-levels, and 3 weeks later you've got to move in. So I'd recommend it.
Yeah, so do I. Interesting. So my journey to going to the University of Liverpool chemistry is interesting because I chose between King's College, London. So these were my options. It was Queen Mary's University to do global health. But a lot of people are like, nah, you don't do global health as a degree. You do that as more of a master's. And then I was going to do medicine at King's College and Liverpool, but obviously AS I didn't get the grades that I wanted, so I ended up applying for chemistry at King's College, London, and Liverpool. And the reason I chose Liverpool as my number one option, it's mad because I think now I would have chosen King's College just because of like who I am. I chose University of Liverpool because I think I just thought I knew Liverpool was cheaper. Like obviously I would have wanted the London lifestyle, but I thought now like I'm a student, I'm broke. Like I'm forcing living in London and just being consistently broke. So that's why I chose University of Liverpool. So on results day, I got my results and I got my email to say, well done, you've got into the University of Liverpool. But luckily Liverpool's quite good because the results I got didn't actually meet the entry requirements. So I got like 3 Bs and I was predicted like A star AA. We still made it though. And yeah, so even I think the entry requirements were like A, B, B, and I got 3 Bs and I still managed to get in and I didn't have to go through the foundation year. So I was so lucky in that sense. So that's why I went to the University of Liverpool, because of my A-level results and just because I needed affordability. So yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, like think of everything that it brought us, like, opportunity-wise, and the chemistry department in Liverpool is so good.
Exactly.
It is like I think you don't realise that when you apply there because maybe Liverpool might not be the top 10 unis or whatever, but like the actual department itself is amazing. Like I enjoyed it. It was hard, but I enjoyed it.
Same here. Which leads us on to our next question. So what did you enjoy about studying chemistry at the University of Liverpool? So can you talk me through first year, second year, third year, what you enjoyed, and then after this we'll talk about what we didn't enjoy.
I mean, I know this is probably not what you should say, but I would say the thing I enjoyed the most was the social aspect of our course. Like, as much as we were in a lot of hours and we had a lot of work to do, I wouldn't have changed it. I like to complain a lot about that, and I'm sure my flatmates will tell you the same. Yeah. But at the same time, like we had such opportunity to make friends. You're in groups of people, you're in labs, you've got lab partners, you're just different random things. Like, you're there all day, so you're forced to talk to people in your lunch break. And by the time I got to second year, I had such a solid group of friends, and by third year, it only grew and grew. And like, I can only credit that towards the degree, because I think the type of degree it was forced you to make friends. And, you all went through it together. You helped each other with everything. And yeah, that was like one of the best things. But I think like I enjoyed it because you did, like I said, you built relationships, but not only with like students, with like lecturers and academics. And I feel like I've come out of it having a good relationship with quite a few of my senior lecturers and people in the offices and stuff. And just for future, like, that's so good in terms of networking. And like, we just did a project, didn't we?
Yeah.
And me and you both contacted someone from chemistry that we both got on really well with, and we were comfortable to do that. Whereas I know with a lot of other degrees, they don't get that kind of side where they can have relationships with the lecturers. So, and then as well as that, I mean, I enjoyed the course. I know a lot of people will be like, no, you didn't, but I did. I loved labs. I used to moan about them whilst I was there, and I used to, be hungover or whatever, and I used to be in the lab trying to mix things together. And I used to complain and say, this is so much work, but I would go back and do it again. Like, I absolutely loved it. And I think you learned so much from it, from having to do so much work. It was a lot of pressure, but in terms of the future, it's kind of, I think it will have set me up for like my next thing that I'm going to do in life. So yeah, I can't complain. I enjoyed my degree.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, Megan, what you've said is exactly what I was going to say. Like, the thing I love about our course, because we're such sociable people, right? We want to make friends, want to have a laugh, a bit of banter here and there. So that's what I loved about our course. I loved that I could go to lectures and be like, I honestly think I could name like 100 people on our course.
Yeah, me too.
Like, surname basis. Like I could go into lectures and be like, hi, hey, how you doing? All right. Have you done this project? Do you understand organic chemistry? Do you understand the assignment? Have you done the assignment? What do you get on your lab report? What do you do for your lab report? Can you help me out with this? Do you know what I mean? Like I absolutely love that. And labs as well. Like I didn't like labs. I didn't like doing experiments because I think the experiments just didn't excite me. But I love the social aspects of experiments. I love the fact that I knew I was going to fail at the experiment and that we could just laugh about it, you know. So I loved in third year. Like the first semester was hectic every single week at lab report or whatever else. But I love the fact that I'd have my lab partner and it was just banter, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like
some of the like funniest things that have ever happened to me have happened in the central teaching labs at the University of Liverpool. Like, you know, things have exploded, you've smashed things, but I think at first year you're so nervous, like, oh my god, am I going to be okay at this? And by the time you get to third year, you're just throwing stuff around, breaking the rotary evaporators, losing your product, making stuff up, like. But those were like the best times, I think. And I used to dread labs at first.
Yeah,
I hated them, and by the time I got to third year, I loved them.
Yeah, that's the thing with me in first year. I found it really difficult because I was like, so how am I gonna like make friends with everyone? Like, you know, like who's my friend, who's not my friend? Like it was so hard. But then because we were forced to be in groups all the time, tutorials, lab demonstrations, and then lectures, we were forced to work in groups, and it allowed us to have friends from different friendship groups, which was really useful because like, you know, in a friendship group, one person's really knowledgeable in like organic chemistry or one's knowledgeable in inorganic chemistry. So it's a good way to network and expand your knowledge set because there were some people who are really good at certain areas. And you know, in chemistry, you could always ask someone for help and it not be an issue.
Yeah. I mean, I asked someone for help every minute of every day. I had a good group of friends, but I would say I was probably one of the worst in terms of the knowledge side. And, you know, like I didn't do maths at A-level, those maths workshops, they were awful. Me and Ellen, who we both know from uni, and Jess used to sit and get 0 on our math exams. I think Ellen once got like 12% and she was so happy because she'd done so well, but it didn't matter at the end of the day. And that's how you make the friends, I think, because you bond over stuff like that. You bond over the fact you don't understand.
Yeah, I think that's the funniest. And I think for us, we're so lucky because like I get on really well with my lecturers anyway. So like you could be like, hey, hey, like I feel like a lot of degrees, they don't have that. They don't have the social aspect. Like with my housemates, they didn't know the people on their course. And I was like, you cannot get through chemistry without having friends. You have to have friends. Do you know what I mean? You can't.
Yeah, it's a shame really. Like I wish they did it for other courses because it changed my uni aspect so much, having friends in uni and out of, and like in my flatmates, none of them did science. So we all were very different, but, you know, and I got on with them, they're my best friends, but at the same time, I had my best friends in chem.
Yeah.
And like, I always just wish that those guys could have experienced that kind of uni atmosphere. Like they had the friends on the course, on their courses, of course, but it's not the same. Like, and I think social subjects and social sciences should try and push like the social aspect of their courses a lot more.
Yeah.
But obviously they're not going to be able to do that now with COVID.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I really loved. And I'm trying to think, what modules did I really like?
I love the environmental stuff.
Really?
Yeah, atmospheres, pollution, plastic.
Wait,
I love that stuff.
Physical chemistry, the last bit, you know, towards the end, we were learning about radicals and all that stuff.
Yeah, but also in first and second year, I did the environmental modules. You know, like you could do med chem or maths or whatever, right? Or materials. I did and did like the ocean and the clouds and like the biochemistry in the sea. I love stuff like that. That's why I was like, because it mixed the geography A-level stuff in with it. So I was like, it got to tick the boxes for me.
What did I like? I liked the lecture I liked the module depending on the lecturer. So like I'm one of them people where I feed off vibes, right? So if the lecturer's really enthusiastic and they're really excited about something, I'm also very excited. So I really liked Dr. Lucy Clark's lectures. Her lectures, yeah, I used to go there and be like, I couldn't give two craps about what you're talking about, but I absolutely love the way you're teaching. You're exciting me. You're so excited about this. You're so passionate, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the ups and downs, this half spin orbitals, and
how do you even remember that?
I just remember the way I felt. I would leave her lectures and I'd be like, wow. That was that lecture was exciting.
No, I know what you mean. It was like Raval. Do you remember Raval in first year?
Oh yeah, she was scary.
She was scary, but I like a scary woman. And also Helen Aspinall.
Oh yes, Helen Aspinall's lectures were, they were amazing. And the thing I liked about Professor Raval is that although we had those discipline in the lecture. Do you know what I mean? Like you knew you couldn't. You couldn't, you just didn't try it, but she was so good at what she did. Like
everyone did so well in that module,
exactly.
If I remember. And it wasn't easy stuff, and it was because of her. She was good at what she did.
I literally remember, this woman is scary, I remember. But I think she just had discipline within us, because obviously we try and get away with going on our phones and blah, blah, blah. But you went to her lectures, you knew you had to focus, because if you were she would be like, hello.
Yeah. Also, notice how the three people we just said were all women.
Oh yeah.
Let's just leave that there.
Do you know another lecturer that I honestly had on my heart? I love that woman. It's Dr. Sedgi, or the famous Geeta. I love her.
Yeah, Geeta is probably one of my favorite people from uni. Not only just, she's so funny and she's so nice, and she's really good at responsive, and she's a great lecturer in what she teaches, but also she is the one person that convinced me to go to Thailand. She ran that whole module, so she set everything up, and she was the support whilst we were out there. And she also was the one that convinced me to go to China. So Geeta made me do a meeting with Study Abroad, and the woman at the end came over to me and was like, would you be interested in China? And I think that's what set it off for me. And so Geeta loved it. And, sometimes I email her, and I know that most of my course mates feel exactly the same. So she was great.
I absolutely loved her. I remember in first year, I didn't really understand her. And then in second and third year, she was amazing, because I did study abroad in Canada. She was amazing. She's so patient.
She was.
She has time for you. Do you know what I mean? She's not rude. She has time for you. If she sees that you want to learn and you're trying your best, she will help you out. Some lecturers are too busy to be hanging out with undergraduates. You know what I mean? But Geeta, she will make time for you if you put in the work and you're someone that's working hard. She was some people I don't know what it is. This job, it's not just a job where you go, you come back. For her, it's she does it she's a bit of a mum in chemistry.
She's such a mom. Yeah. She used to take the mick out of me, because I used to have a million questions when we go for our meetings for Thailand. And she used to laugh at me so much because I had so many things to ask her, but she was always just so good with me, because I always have a million questions.
Yeah, she
was great.
She was so good. If you weren't sure of what to do and things like that, as long as she was someone who worked hard and you're attending the lectures and she saw that you're putting in the effort, she'd support you. Even when I was in Canada and I wasn't doing any of the maths modules, I was like, mate, I don't think I can do this right now because I have exams, because we have our exams before Christmas and stuff. And she was so supportive, but she still ensured that I was still up to date and stuff. And I hands down, she was born for the job that she'd done. And I wish people were like her in the workplace, where they're not just going there to work 9 to 5. They're actually there to make an impact, and they actually care about the people that they're looking after. So the other thing is, you guys used to go Hebes. I only started joining the Hebe gang in third year. I only went once.
I didn't even know you joined the Hebe gang.
I only went once, but then I don't know what happened.
Oh, I miss that place. Yeah, I loved Hebes on Thursday. Because sometimes if you work really hard in labs, or you'd have a good week, you'd have Friday lab, you could miss Friday morning. So you would go in Friday afternoon, but it meant you could go out to Hebes Thursday night, enjoy yourself, and still do work on Friday. And that was me every Thursday, queuing up for heebie-jeebies.
It was so funny because I'm sure one of our lecturers would like the what's it called, the lecture room would be empty. No one would be in there. There'd only be about 10 people, and she'd be like, "Oh, has everyone gone to Hebe's again?"
They're not stupid. They were students once upon a time. They remember.
Fab. Right then, what didn't you like about our course?
What didn't I like about our course? That's a tough question. It's not that like there's specific things that I hated about our course. That maybe were just things that would like get on my nerves, like certain ways they marked stuff. It was subjective, and I used to feel like it could affect people's grades, like in the labs and stuff. It was dependent on who you got as your marker, and but you know, they always used to say, "Oh, I'll get standardized," and I used to be like, "Yeah, whatever." But it's still frustrating when you work hard and you think just because of the person you got a B instead of like an A star, whatever they would give you. I didn't necessarily like how exam-based it was because I am not very good at exams. I get panicked, so in a panic situation. So the best modules I always did were labs because it was coursework, like key skills because it was easier and it was coursework, or anything that had a bigger coursework percentage because I could put my actual like efforts into it. In exams, I would revise for weeks, and then I could go into an exam and the questions would be different, or like the first question would throw me and then I'd panic and then I would just forget everything and have like a blank. And it used to just happen all the time. Sometimes I'd exam well, it literally depended on the day, but there's been times when I've got 70 plus in an exam and times when I've got 30 in an exam, and I think it's hard to judge how well someone is at like a degree-based subject when it's 90% exam. Like I don't necessarily agree with it, and I hated organic chemistry. That's what I hated. Absolutely hated organic chemistry. That's why I got 30% in as well. So, you know, it was the exam and the fact that I couldn't do it.
I forgot to add about the things that I loved. Do you know there's one moment where the moments I loved, after labs and would have that 2-hour break. I loved that because I'd go to the chippy, I'd get more chips, and I'd lather it in mayonnaise and would gossip and do chat.
Oh, me too. I used to go and get a free Caffè Nero Tuesdays and Wednesdays with my O2 and sit in that booth with all my friends and chat and just like eat whatever and drink and just have such a laugh. And then we get to 2 p.m. and we'd be like, right, let's go back to labs. But no, that's what I mean about the social side. You're forced to make friends with people because you've got that gap. But I look forward to it every day. Yeah. Loved it.
I loved it as well. Right then. So what didn't I like about our degree? That's an interesting question, you know.
It's hard to think of exactly what you didn't like. Like there was stuff that annoyed me whilst I was there, but looking back on it, like
it's not that deep. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think for me, like you said, the marking thing, like it used to annoy me, because it was like a lottery thing, and you kind of if you know, you know. And then there's one subject that I just didn't get on well with. I just didn't get on well with physical chemistry. I just didn't get on with it. We were just not friends. We couldn't do it.
It was hard.
Exactly. And I feel like there were just some people who are just really good at it. Do you know what I mean?
It's the same with organic. You have it, like me and my friends always used to say, you can't be taught it. You either get it or you don't. It's like a language or something.
Literally.
You know, there's only so many times you can try to understand, and then try and apply it. And I would revise for days, and then I'd get a question and be like, no, I'll do it.
No, and the thing with the other thing with organic chemistry is, if you do badly, you do badly. It's not one of them things you can revise for.
Like me.
That's with me. Like, I was really good at organic chemistry. However, I was good at it.
Yeah, I remember you getting your exam results and coming in, and I'd got 31, and you'd got like 80, and I was like, how?
Oh, but the only reason why I did well in that exam is because I was in Canada. I had exposure to a different teaching method which explained the stuff that our lecturer was teaching us. So I had covered some of the topics, and our lecturer in Canada had covered it in a different way. So I was able to view his content, our one in the University of Liverpool, in a different way. And that's why I did well, because I feel like if I had just done it the same way as everyone else, I would have struggled with that exam. But because in Canada, the lecturer taught it a different way, and then I applied it to the exam when we did it in Liverpool. So that's why I did well in it. And the thing that I don't do well in is physical chemistry. I either do really well in it or I just completely flop it. There's no in between, you know? There's no happy medium. So that's why inorganic is like quite decent, because like if you revise for it, hopefully you should get like at least a 2-1. But with organic and physical...
Yeah, that was my favourite by a mile.
Oh, well, what can you do? I think the thing for me that I didn't like, I enjoyed third year, but third year was crazy. Second semester for me anyway, because it was mad, right? So first semester, it was all right, a little bit hectic, lab report every single week. But then second semester of third year, I was like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
What's going on? Because, you know, first semester, we had the heavy, dense organic chemistry. When I say to you, I bled when I was revising for that exam. I literally I was dreaming about mechanisms, right? And we didn't have a break. So we had the 2 exams and it felt like we were studying for 4 exams. And then Friday we have our exam, Monday we're back again. We're doing our research project and we're revising for 5 modules as well. So for me, third year was really difficult because I was like, we've just done 2 exams, which literally felt like we were doing about 6 exams. And on top of that, we're going straight into second semester and we haven't really had a break.
My experience was completely different to yours, wasn't it, in third year?
Yeah.
Because I did the summer internship in Thailand in second year. So because I did that, my first semester of third year was a lot more work because I had all of organic, which is, I think, probably a big reason why I didn't do very well in it. And then I had my Thailand module, which was like 22.5 credits. So it was like doing your research project, but again. So I did one before I did the next one. So I had all of that. So my hand-ins for first semester were crazy, but because of that, it meant that my second semester, well, you had 5 modules, I only had 3. So I had 3 exams. And don't get me wrong, I was still stressed, but I was nowhere near as stressed as everyone else. So I don't know how well I would have done if I'd have done the 5 exams. I think me going to Thailand was not only like an insane experience, but it saved my life in third year. I think I would have really struggled. Me doing 5 exams, including physical, in last semester of third year, I'd have been out.